Stanford University.
Good afternoon. Now, you all have heard all of these wonderful speakers. I know that we can have more energy than that. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Thank you so very much. You know, it's a tough act to follow all of these great speakers. And when they said, can you do the closing, I thought, will anybody be woke? But I think you are. And I want to first say I am honored to speak with you briefly today in this very innovative food summit. And this is the 5th one. So hats off to you, Christopher. Job well done. And everybody else who worked to make this possible. I am so honored and appreciative to work with Christopher and Gregory and my team. You just saw Eric Montel, my executive director for Stanford Dining. He is fabulous. And Chandan, who is our chef. We work together as a team in residential and dining enterprises. I want to really talk about connections in food and also really talk about excellence in building a sustainable future. And I'm going to tie that with Christopher in bringing us here today to continue to develop a learning community as scholars and innovators, practitioners, and community advocates, all who share a passion for food and its impact on behaviors for healthy lifestyles and best practices to be sustainable in a collaborative and interdisciplinary manner. That collaborative manner is so important, and you'll know that a little later. But Greg Drescher talked earlier about the unapologetic elevation of deliciousness. I thought that was so awesome. A global health and sustainability imperative. And I also agree with Greg that food should be craveable. So you heard from Eric, who said people eat with their eyes. If it doesn't look good, you assume it doesn't taste good. And usually, it's correct. You were also presented with an array of educational topics to drive behavioral change, ranging from protein, fads, myths, and facts. And I walked in again to hear the students talk about their experiences in working with the farms and getting young kids to eat vegetables. Now, you know, that was music to my ears. All the way to menus of change, with focusing on redefining protein on the plate. And then you heard also about the research collaborative between the CIA and many universities around the country. I am so excited that people are really looking at food in a very different way. Many times we just eat and be happy that we're full. And now we're thinking of it in a very different way. Maybe it's called mindful eating, in a way that you're paying more attention to what it is that you're eating, where it comes from, its origin. That's really important. And our health. Because, we are what we eat. And so if you're eating unhealthy and you're trying to find out why, that could be the reason. So I am extremely excited about that. These topics in the summit really connect us in collaborating efforts to achieve excellence in building a sustainable future for generations to come. But what does that mean for my organization? We build excellence each and every day by working with students and faculty and staff on all sorts of initiatives. I'm assuming this is the clicker. Green says go. Excellence is aligning our strategic goals and performance with our vision. And our vision is to be the best in the business, not mediocre, not make sure that we provide food, great food on days when it's sun shining or when we're happy. But each and every day that students come into our dining halls, we want to make sure that we are exceeding their expectations and that we have food that meets all of their dietary needs. That's excellence to us, because students are first, and we have to be advocates on their behalf. But we also partner with students to find out what is it that's important to them and how we design our facilities, how we design our menus. I came here 23 years ago. I was hired as the executive director for food service at the time. And we had some operations that were great and some operations that were in trouble. And they asked me to come in and make change. And so I didn't understand what that really meant, because this is Stanford University. I just assumed everything was great. And when I walked around and did an assessment, I realized it wasn't a change we needed, it was a transformation. We really needed to tear down some walls, both mentally and physically. We needed people to understand what excellence was all about. And it wasn't about getting the food cooked and put in warmers that lined the walls 2 hours before we served the meal and be happy that we got the food done. Students in my interview here said, "Ms. Everett, how are you going to make sure that we don't serve grade D meat?" And I said, "Well, you can't buy it. How do we manage to serve it?" So you see, we were cooking food, beautiful food, but we were putting it in warmers and then serving it with gravy everywhere. We were writing on the sneeze guards so that you knew what we were serving. That was not excellence, and it was not in keeping with our mission to serve high-quality food. Well, let me show you what we encountered. That was one of the serveries at Branner Hall. So you see, we had a straight line service, warmers nicely stacked together. But that style of service was all over the country. That was cafeteria-style food. And what we wanted to do was make a paradigm shift from cafeteria style to restaurant quality to exhibition style, making sure that we met the students' needs and exceeded their expectations. Fresh food, just in time, so that they could use all of their senses, their eyes, their smell, the taste, and they could hear the pop and the sizzle right in front of them. Well, I knew, looking at that, I needed help. And so I asked Greg Dresser from the CIA to come in, but I was serious. And so I also enlisted services from the FBI and the NRA. Oh, you bet I was serious. Well, the FBI is the Food and Beverage Institute, and the NRA is the National Restaurant Association. So I had them all, the CIA and the NRA and the FBI, working with me and my team to elevate our consciousness, our ability to provide great food, fresh food, in an environment where it was conducive to do so. We wanted to make sure that we had a bright, airy, open servery with lots of fresh ingredients, and which students could choose from. That's what we did. Big difference. Those windows are all the same windows we had in the small place. Just somebody put up walls, covered them. I didn't have to expand anything. We enlightened what we had, renovated it, so that each and every student could feel like this is their restaurant. This is their dining. Tearing down and having a paradigm shift was so critically important for behavior change. We transformed the menu, quality of ingredients, culinary standards. We had user experience testing. We elevated staff expectations, changed the servery strategy, the physical layout, all of the designs. Paradigm shift, we trained. We got people from thinking, I'm a cook, to I'm a chef. Understanding the vision to be the best in the business allowed people to be engaged. We also got them to clearly understand their mission and their purpose for being here was that students are never an interruption in our day. They are the reason we are here. Everything we do, the designs, the decisions we make, students are first. Because if we don't have students and our faculty and staff in mind when we're making these kind of policies and decisions, we fail them. And failing is not an option in R&DE. We went further with Florence Moore, adding lessons learned from the previous renovations to make sure that we continue to build a sustainable future within R&DE. Just in time at Arriaga Dining to make sure we no longer hold food in warmers. It's cooked to plate. But we didn't stop there from just physically changing and changing a paradigm shift. We began to work across lines in a very collaborative way with Christopher and all faculty and staff in the residence and in many of the schools to make sure that we could continue to move this program forward. Looking at all of our food systems, our food production, and our food purchases, because we wanted them to be sustainable, local, organic, humane, fair trade, family-owned, offering food from farms that respect the land and its workers, using sound environmental and humane practices. And now, we offer over 40% of our food, and we get it from sustainable sources. We purchase food from over 200 local farms. 56% of our produce is seasonal and sourced locally. So we've come a long way in making the change to create that culture of excellence. Raising awareness about sustainability is key to changing behaviors. We engage faculty, researchers, and student groups to employ innovative solutions. It's important for us to continually to grow and engage. As you can see, we have food in our dining halls right from the gardens on campus. Our chefs go out and get herbs right from the gardens that they grow. Our students manage gardens. That's that collaborative effort we were lacking before. This is farm to plate. That allows us to achieve excellence. We're continually aligning ourselves with an interdisciplinary focus through education, strategic partnerships, vendors and suppliers, students, staff, faculty. And we provide those opportunities so that students can continue to collaborate with us. We work with Christopher Gardner on behavioral change in student dining and performance dining to make sure what we are serving supports our students' performance, whether in the classroom or on the sports fields. We also work with Emeritus Professor Paul Brest on food waste. So you see, we tackle almost every area and work very well with our faculty. I also sit on the Provost Committee on Sustainability to make sure that what we do in R&D is aligned with the university's goals and principles on sustainability. This is what we continue to work on. Sustainable practices, partnerships that seek a positive impact across several areas: the outreach, the awareness, collaboration, and operational and culinary excellence. Eric has a campaign called Love Food, Hate Waste. We always want students to take just what you can eat and don't waste. I think we have reduced our food cost significantly through this campaign. We will continue our initiatives with plant-based diets along with other proteins, but shifting it so that we offer a lot more opportunities for students to have great fresh vegetables. We participate in wellness fairs and lots of other major events on the campus to promote wellness and sustainability. We will continue our initiatives with faculty and researchers and student groups to implement creative design solutions that promote and encourage healthy and sustainable eating habits and behaviors in our dining halls. Because for us, excellence is a habit. And to make sure we continue to build on that, we will continue to work each and every day across lines to make our dining program the best. As you can see, beautiful fresh vegetables. That was our commencement dinner for the president. Lots of fresh fruits and vegetables. What we serve our executives in the summer. See, we influence behavior. We figure if you make it beautiful, they'll eat it. That's Chandon, the leader of our culinary teams. We also have Michael Grotz here in the audience, who plays a very integral role in providing excellence in all of our cafes and in our concessions in the stadiums as well. So I am so pleased with where we are, but we can never rest on our laurels. So we will continue to strive for excellence. In closing, this food summit is a forward-thinking, interdisciplinary resource that supports the collective disciplines gathered here today to influence behavior with a broad, long-lasting effect that promotes healthy food, healthy choices, and eating habits and lifestyles using research, design thinking, along with global sustainable resources in an informed and engaged manner. I want all of you to continue to enjoy the rest of the summit. And I hope I offered you just some morsels of information about how we collectively transformed the dining program here at Stanford. Thank you.
For more, please visit us at stanford.edu.